My name's John Callow. I'm an academic who works in the area of visual literacy, working with teachers in primary and secondary classrooms, developing their knowledge of how visual and multimodal texts work. Visual images are hard to ignore. They pervade our work and play, and even sometimes our sleep. Think about a favourite painting or a photograph that you have. What gives it meaning? Is it the person in the photograph? The way they're looking at the viewer? The use of colour? Or perhaps a clever combination of all elements that make up that particular picture? As educators, we have a particular interest in learning how to understand how texts work. We want to be able to help our students enjoy, explain, understand, and also critique all the types of texts that they come across in their everyday lives. The shape of text to come, how image and text work. The Shape of Text to Come provides a rich and powerful introduction to teachers to enable them to explain, discuss, and critique images and multimodal texts with the students in their classrooms. Using a variety of images, from picture books to posters, artworks and screens, it takes teachers through an introduction as to how to understand images, the different aspects and elements, supporting them to be able to use these in the classroom. The Hero of Little Street by Gregory Rogers invites much discussion as it's a completely wordless text. The story, initially set in London in an art gallery, follows a boy and his dog who magically enter portraits in the art gallery and find themselves in 17th century Holland, where they have magical and exciting adventures. If we look at this page, what actions do you note? What assumptions do you make about the setting of this story? For example, did you guess that it's in London? The main character walks across the busy Trafalgar Square, happily chasing pigeons, then watching as they fly away. The actions of walking, chasing and watching are all inferred from the pictures. When asked how you know he's chasing the pigeons, you might reply that it's obvious from his outstretched arms and legs, showing him moving towards the birds who are flapping their wings. You might also have noticed that the illustrator has created multiple scenes in a comic book layout, which not only sequence the narrative, but use a variety of points of view, angles and background features. All of these combine to create a rich and engaging narrative. Being able to read features like this is not only part of enjoying the story, but it also involves using a visual grammar or metalanguage. In the same way that an actor or a director may speak about a scene and the choices they've made, this sort of information allows us to enjoy and also deepen our understanding of how visual images work. The Australian Curriculum English pays particular attention to the use of visual and multimodal texts, including a substrand entitled Visual Language. If we look through the content descriptions, reference is made to visual and multimodal images throughout the entire curriculum. The Shape of Text to Come provides teachers with a sound introduction to understanding how multimodal texts work and the visual grammar required to teach this in the classroom. The first 5 chapters take teachers through a logical understanding of multimodal texts, grounded in social semiotic theory. Not only can we describe how images are represented in different types of actions, but we can also consider the emotional aspects, how images engage us, as well as the compositional and design elements of those same types of texts. Chapter 6 provides many practical activities for the Australian Curriculum English, with different classroom strategies, annotated images, and links to different content descriptors. So what is the Shape of Text to Come? Read the book to find out more.